revealed to little ones the mystery of the kingdom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. At that time, Jesus exclaimed, I give praise to you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth. For although you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to little ones. Yes, Father, such has been your gracious will. All things have been handed over to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning, everyone. The readings today bring our attention to our God, who reveals himself to the humble and gentle of heart, and at the same time, who identifies with our heavy burdens. In the first reading, through prophet Zechariah, the Lord announces this very Messiah who is poor and humble. Behold your king, he says, come to you, humble. He asks Israel to rejoice and shout for joy, because this Messiah, he said, shall proclaim peace to the nations, and his kingdom shall command this very peace to the nation, and also his dominions shall be from below and above. So prophet Zechariah is happy at the fact that God will save his people and also show them a way to unload their unnecessary burdens. That peace that is talked of by Zechariah in the first reading is summed up by Jesus in the gospel text that Deacon has just read, in terms of identifying with the burdens of our own lives. And this Jesus does in three ways. First, through the thanksgiving prayers that we have heard, and secondly, through the invitation to be with him or to come to him, and lastly, through taking one's yoke and learning from him. In thanksgiving, he prays to God the Father and he says, I give praise to you, Father, Lord of heaven and of earth, because although you have hidden those things from the wise and learned, you have revealed them to the little ones. The little ones are here referred by Jesus because of their childlike character, because of their humility and interdependence on God. And through this, God is able to reveal himself to them and to identify with them against all versus the so-called uneducated scribes and Pharisees and scholars of the law, who took it all in their hands and neglecting God's presence in their lives. And that is why Jesus compared this and praises his Father for revealing himself to these little ones because of these characters of humility interdependence, and childlike. And on invitation, he prays and he says, "Come to me, all of you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest." By this, Jesus is inviting us to come to him and rest in that heart of God. There are so many burdens in life that we all know and at times make us so miserable and also depressed, like the burdens of religious practices itself, the burdens of our financial worries, the burdens of even old age that may make us incapacitated from doing certain things or activities, the burdens of sicknesses, things like heart diseases, arthritis, diabetic, anxieties, depressions, and what have you. The burdens of our relationships, albeit in the family itself. The burdens of threats of war and all these kind of things. At times we find ourselves so choked up by these many oppressive elements that take away our peace and also comfort and freedom as well. Despite all these tough and hard burdens, Jesus continues to invite you and me to look to him and to cooperate with him in order to find rest and peace. And that is why he clearly puts it, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest." He becomes the source of our rest, the source of our peace, the source of our comfort, despite all this, on condition that we come to him. And lastly, he says, "Take my yoke and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest." Taking up his yoke and learning from him. Jesus uses this expression of the yoke because at his time, this was so common. The yoke is tied to, at times, the two cattle for purpose of easy plowing and making it so light so that they're able to work comfortably in this pair as they share these burdens of life. So Jesus uses the same expression and says, "Take my yoke and learn from me. I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest. My yoke is easy and my burden light." So if we identify with him, he makes it lighter for us in walking and working with him. Jesus' yoke is the sum of our Christian responsibilities and duties. He invites us to take his yoke, that is, to put ourselves in this kind of relationship with him as his servants, as his subjects, and to conduct ourselves becomingly of him as the source and helper in this yoke. Our yoke mate becomes Jesus himself, and the yoke as well belongs to him. But he's only asking us to team up with him so that it becomes easy for us to carry out this heavy laden. And that is what he's asking from you and me this Sunday of the 14th church calendar. To turn to him so that our burdens are made light, to look to him so that we continue to walk with his presence in all our burdens, to continue to take his yoke and team up with him and to learn from him. So may we continue to thank God for the many blessings through this reading that He has bestowed in us and in our own lives, and continue to do so. May we also continue to look to Him by the grace that He has given us for all our burdens of life, that we may find peace in our hearts and in the world, as well as we walk towards this peace and with His cooperation. And may we continue to take our yoke and team up with Him, learning from Him as Jesus, who is meek and humble of heart. Come to me, all who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. The Lord be with you.